Hi everyone, welcome back. Hope you're keeping well. Today we are going to work down the sides of our bodies into our oblique muscles. It'll involve a lot of other core muscles as well, but that's our primary focus for today. So when you're ready, we'll begin on our backs. We'll start with a little bit of spine articulation through the shoulder bridge, but then take that into some single leg shoulder bridges if you wish. Remember, work at the level that's right for you, and I'll always give you different levels to go for. Feet hip distance apart, flat on the floor, 90-degree bend behind the knee. As you roll yourself down onto the mat, come into a nice neutral spine position. So if you need a pillow under your head to get that tuck to the chin right, then fine, go ahead with that. If not, just find that neutral spine, relax your arms down by your sides. And when you're ready, engage core muscles. Pelvic floor comes up, transverse in, and everything's nice and tight through the core. So without putting too much pressure through our feet, we'll begin with a basic shoulder bridge just to get the spine articulating a little, get those core muscles firing. So pelvic tilt towards you, pushing the small of the back into the mat, and then peeling and curling bone by bone off the mat as you come back into neutral spine at the top point, with a nice straight line between your knees and your chin. Take a nice deep breath in at the top. And again, peel and curl bone back down onto the spine, bone by bone, pushing down into the small of the back before you roll back into neutral. So moving ideally moving only on an out breath, so it's a nice deep out breath at the bottom. Deep in-breath at the bottom before you again tilt the pelvis and peel and curl on your out-breath. If you need to stop to take an in-breath on the way up, then obviously feel free to do so. Just stop, take your in-breath and then carry on up through the spine with your out-breath. And again, in-breath at the top, bone by bone, coming down through the spine. Really getting that spine nicely articulated. Now, if you're happy with that, carry on with that version. If you want to challenge yourself a little more, we take it into the single leg version. So for that, in the neutral spine position, you'll first of all float one leg into a tabletop position. And at that point, in breath, tilt the pelvis and peel and curl bone by bone off the mat, keeping that leg raised in that tabletop position. When you get to the top, you can just come straight down if you want, or straighten your leg to the ceiling, bend it back in, and then lower bone by bone down through the spine. Now, if you're doing the single leg version, make sure you can lift both hips evenly, even though you've got one leg raised off the mat. Once you get back to the neutral spine position, lower that foot to the floor. Again, float the other leg into the tabletop position this time. Nice deep breath in, on your out breath, tilt the pelvis, peel and curl bone by bone off the mat, keeping those hips equally raised. When you get to the top, if you want, straighten the leg to the ceiling, bend it back into the bent leg position, and then slowly lower bone by bone down through the spine. So whichever version you prefer, single leg version or both feet on the floor, give me a couple more. Obviously, if you're doing a single leg version, make sure you've done it equally to each leg. And when you finished your last one, just get back into your neutral spine set-up position, ready for the next move. Lovely. So this time we're going to work down the front of the body, the rectus abdominis muscle, as well as into the obliques if you take it a little further. The first move is a chest lift, fingertips to the side of your head, or head cupped in your hands if you prefer. Remember, don't pull on that head if you're cupping the head in the hands. Whichever version you're doing, core engaged, nice and tight, as you then lift head, neck and shoulders off the mat, pushing the small of the back into the mat, this time working down the front of the body. Just do a few basic chest lifts, so you're not doing the oblique reach quite yet. Slowly up, slowly back down. Deep breath in at the bottom. Exhale as you come up about sort of halfway down your rib cage is all you need to come up. And then slowly back down again. Now, if you want to, you can make this slightly harder by floating your legs into the tabletop position. You can still just stick with the chest lift, pushing the small of the back into the mat as you lift. Big breath in at the top, and then slowly back down on your out breath. Keep the legs nice and still if you're doing this version. If you get tired, go back to the feet on the floor or take a break. Now we can take it into oblique reaches, either with the feet on the floor or with the legs raised, either way, it doesn't matter. So you can come up, reach one set of fingertips past the opposite knee, and then reach the other set past the other knee. Back to the center before you lower back down. Obviously the raised leg version looks much the same, but you're reaching past those raised legs. And finally, should you wish to, you can take it into the cycle move. So this is a little bit more dynamic. You take one leg diagonally away, and then you lift the upper body, take the shoulder on the leg that's extended towards the hip on the leg that's bent. Try to aim for the shoulder towards the hip rather than the knee to the elbow. Because if you aim for knee to elbow, you tend to curl up too much and bring the elbow forward. What we want to do is get that twist through the waist, which is encouraged by the shoulder to the hip. You come down and you go to the other side, and then you can just stay up there as long as you feel able. Opposite shoulder towards opposite hip, and the leg that's not coming towards you is extending diagonally away. Just do as many as you can. Take a break when you need it, or if you prefer, just come back into one of the lower versions and do a lower version. So a few more of whichever version you want to do, working down the front of the body into obliques as you do the oblique reach or the cycling move. Don't forget to breathe. Whichever version you're doing, you can just breathe naturally if you like. Try and start on an out breath, but try to keep the breathing natural, especially if you're going for quite a long stint. Just finish off the set that you're doing, bring your legs back to the floor, and then we'll just go into a quick body stretch, fingertips right through to toes. Lovely. Back into your setup position, and this time we'll take it into leg rolls. So arms come slightly out to the side, palms facing the ceiling, and your knees go off in one direction as your head goes in the opposite direction. The palm that you look towards turns face down. Come back through the centre, take the knees in the other direction, and the palm that you look towards turns face down. So you're getting a stretch right down the side of the body into that thigh of the upper leg. You can carry on with this, or if you wish, you can add in the opposite, you can add in a top leg extension. So the uppermost leg, once you've rolled over, you're going to extend out in that direction, so as high towards the top half of your body as you can manage, and as low to the ground as you can manage. You bend it back in, roll over to the other side, and take that top leg up and over on that side. That gives a little bit more stretch down the leg as well. If you'd rather use the side leg rolls as a core exercise, of course, you can bring the legs into the tabletop position and do your leg rolls from there. You won't go as far as you do, and you don't need to worry about the upper body move. It can just be the lower half because you're really focusing on the core, maintaining that nice stability through the upper body. If you want to, you could add a double leg extension once you've gone as far as you can to each side. Try and keep the feet and knees hip distance apart, whichever version you're doing. If you bring your legs together as you work in this exercise, you'll find that the legs start to do more of the work instead of the core. Remember, both shoulder blades must stay nice and evenly distributed on the mat, whichever version you're doing. Just give me 2 or 3 more of those. And when you've finished your last one, come back to the center, lower your legs if they're raised. And we'll take it into a quick back stretch before we go over onto our sides. Circle your back around a little on the mat, half a dozen in one direction, and then half a dozen in the other. Lovely. When you've finished with that, we'll move on to our side. So today we're starting on our elbow directly below shoulder, forearm relaxed, knees, well, either bent as we normally do. Obviously you have that option, but I'll also give you the option to do a straight leg version. If you're doing the bent leg version, I'll explain what we're going to do first so you can decide which you'd prefer. We're going to lift and hold and then rotate half a dozen times. If you're going to do the straight leg version, it's exactly the same. You lift the hips and reach the top arm towards the ceiling, but just be sure to clear the bottom leg off the mat as well. If you drag the bottom leg onto the mat, you really sort of might as well be doing the bent leg version. So whichever version you decide you want to do, remember you can do either of these moves with the hips down if it gets too painful through your shoulder. Try a few with the hips lifted, but if it gets too much, just pop the hips back on the floor and carry on with the moves. So when you're ready, with shoulder directly above elbow, lift your top arm and your hips off the mat, reach for the ceiling and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then rotate under, look towards the hand as it goes behind you and come back to the top. And again. Keep going with a few of these. Ideally, you're breathing out as you rotate under and in as you come back to the top. Just breathe naturally if not. Give me one more of these. And then you can lower your hips back to the floor and we'll go straight into a long setup position, head on your underarm, legs extended down the mat. Top arm relaxes down the length of your body unless you need fingertips forward. So we're going straight into a double leg lift. If you can't do the double leg lift, feel free to do a single leg lift. But today we are focusing on the double leg lift and we're going to do a little bit of scissor move. Whichever version you're doing, single or double leg, you need to try and keep a slight gap under the waistband. So make sure those legs are nicely stacked to start. Engage core muscles for stability, unless you're using fingertips, but try to use your core. And then just go straight into a double leg lift and lower.
So both legs stay together. They won't come up as high as they do if you're doing a single leg lift. But whichever version, make sure you don't push that waistband into the mat as you lift. Keep going with a few more of these. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift. Lovely. Now you can carry on just the legs, or you can add in some upper body lift as well. So as you lift both legs, you lift the upper body. I tend to reach my top arm down towards my toes. That sort of gives you that sense of lifting the upper body a bit more. And then lower everything back down. So lifting, make sure you get that gap underneath your armpit. So you'll come up onto your elbow of that head, the arm that you're leaning on. And back down. And go again. Lift together. Lower together. Make sure your hips are nicely stacked. You're not rolling back or forward as you lift. Really needs to be the side of the body that's doing the work, not the front or even your back muscles. Super. Let's just do a few more of these, or carry on with just the legs if you prefer. And last one. Lovely. And then just to finish off, do the double leg lift or single, and just take the legs into scissor moves. So if you're just doing a single, obviously you'll just take that top leg forward and back. Keep it straight, keep the hips still. You're not rocking around through the pelvis. And obviously if you're doing the double, one is going in one direction and then change directions. So they go alternating like a pair of scissors. Okay. A few more of these. Keep this nice and solid through the upper body, no wobbling around, hopefully through the pelvis and torso. Finish that off with the last couple. And then bring your feet back together and lower back down. Super, well done. Let's come up into a zigzag sit position and take ourselves into a nice mermaid stretch to stretch down those oblique muscles that we've been working. Back onto your elbow, this time closer to your front leg. Lean over as you push that top hip down towards the mat. Lean over with your top arm, get that stretch right down the side of the body. And then turn to face the mat and reach your fingertips a little further away. Super. Let's swing our legs to the other end of the mat, starting on our elbow again. So elbow directly below shoulder. Again, knees bent or legs straight if you wish to challenge yourself. If you've got those legs straight, one foot slightly in front of the other should give you a little bit more stability than placing them directly on top of each other. So when you're ready, top arm goes to the ceiling as you lift your hips off the mat, reach for the ceiling and hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rotate 1 to the ceiling. And 2. Come back. Keep going. Remember, ideally breathing out as you go under, in as you come back. But just breathe naturally if not. Let's do 2 more of these. Lovely, lower your hips down. Take your arm out above your head. Lengthen yourself right down the mat. Top arm down the length of the body. And again, if you want to work with a single leg, you can just do the single leg lift at this point, or go straight into double leg lift and
core engaged for stability, and lift and lower. Breathe out as you lift, in as you lower. Now you can carry on with just the legs, whichever version you're doing. Or you can add in the upper body lift as well. So as you lift your leg or legs, you lift the upper body, reach down towards your feet with your fingertips to help pull your upper body off the mat. Get that gap under your armpit. So you're up on your elbow of that underarm, and then lower yourself back down. Core engaged, lift and lower. Out as you lift, in as you lower. Give me a couple more of these and then we'll take it into the scissors just for the last part of the exercise. Lovely, so either double leg lift or single if you want, and just scissor those legs forward and back, keeping them straight, crossing midway if you're using both legs, just taking the top leg forward and back if not. Core engaged, keep everything nice and solid through the pelvis upwards. Lovely. Just 2 or 3 more. Excellent. Bring the feet together. Lower the legs down into your zigzag sit. Elbow back onto the mat, just next to your leg. Reach over with that top arm as you push that top hip down towards the mat. Lovely stretch down the side of the body. Just breathe naturally, nice deep breaths. And then turn to look towards the mat, reach a little further away. And bring yourself back. Well done. Let's move on to our front. Just going to do a little bit of swan dive today with some rotation should you wish. So again, getting those oblique muscles involved. We start in the swan dive setup position, arms straight out from your shoulders, forearms relaxed on the floor. Relax your lower limbs, put your toes towards each other, drop your heels out, and make a conscious effort to switch your legs and your glutes off. Hovering your nose above the mat, core muscles engaged, so pulling your tummy muscles off the mat. Lengthen a little through the top of the head, so your nose moves slightly away from you, and then push the back of the head towards the ceiling as you peel and curl your chest off the mat. Push those shoulder blades down your back as you come up. And then you can lower back down. Nice deep breath in, core engaged. Just lengthen away. Push the back of the head to the ceiling. You could take a deep breath in up there. And then lower yourself back down. If you're happy with this version, just continue with the basic swan dive. If you want to add some rotation, we're going to seriously rotate today, not just hovering our arms. We are going to do the lift, just as we did, and then lift one arm quite high and rotate a little through the waist as you look in that direction. lower that arm down. You can come back down with the body at that point if you wish, or you can go straight to the other side. Obviously, if you're just doing one side per lift, you need to alternate the side each time. If you're doing both sides, you can just go off to one side first, and then the other. And then lower everything back down, ready to go with the next move. So again, whichever version you prefer, just give me a few more of these. You get tired working at a higher level, just go to a lower level or take a break. And again, just 2 or 3 more, so you've done evenly to each side if you're doing the rotation. When you finish the last one, just relax your head on your hands, relax your shoulders, and just have a quick stretch by curling your toes underneath and stretching out, pushing out through those heels as you lift your knees off the mat, but keep your pelvis on the floor. Lovely. Let's go into a quick cat stretch. Into the all fours position. Arch your back, drop your head down, relax your shoulders, and really get that lovely stretch right down the spine and from shoulder to shoulder. You can then reverse it by sticking your tailbone out, curling up through the spine, looking forward, pushing those shoulder blades down your back. And back into your cat stretch. Lovely. Let's come into a seated position to finish. We'll just do a couple more moves for those oblique muscles. Get nice and high on your sit bones. Legs as wide as you can manage with a straight back. Remember, the straight back is key, so don't take the legs wider and sacrifice the straight back. If you need to bend your legs a little, that's absolutely fine, if that helps get you up on those sit bones nice and tall. If you actually find getting up on your sit bones quite difficult in this position, sometimes a little cushion underneath your sit bones is quite helpful as well. So you've probably got one to hand, so try that if you feel that this position isn't very comfortable for you. So again, imagining that piece of string pulling this through the crown of the head to get the back nice and straight. Relax your shoulders down. Legs bent if you want, or straight if you can manage. And all we'll do to begin with is float the arms out to around about shoulder height, no higher. Keep them wide as you then twist to one side, back through the center, twist to the other side, and again, wide arms. Lovely. Back to the center. This time, go one way and then reach little finger towards little toe on the opposite side. Reach your fingertips behind you away as well. So you're reaching out through all sets, all your fingers. Hold it for a few seconds, then come back up to sitting. Go the other way. Reach little finger towards little toe on the opposite side. Other arm goes behind you and reaches away. Hold it for a few seconds. And then back to sitting. Let's do 2 more of those, once more to each side. Twist and reach. Back to sitting. Twist and reach. Lovely. Bring your legs together, again, straight, if you can manage it. Nice and tall through the back.
And we'll bend one knee, popping that foot across to the opposite side of the opposite leg thigh. We'll use the elbow to pull that knee in towards you. So you're using your opposite elbow to the knee that's bent. Pull that knee in towards you. Take your spare arm behind you and turn to look towards your spare arm as best you can. So you're getting a stretch into the outer thigh of that bent leg as you pull it in towards your chest, but also through your obliques that we've been working today as you twist. Lovely, come back to the front, straighten your bent leg out, bend the other leg in, pop it on the other side of the opposite thigh, use the opposite elbow to pull it in towards you, and then the spare arm goes around behind and you look towards it as best you can. Keep pulling that knee in towards you, turning into the bent leg. Keep the back as straight as you can manage. And then just take yourself into a comfortable seated position. That can be cross legs, whatever you like. Relax your upper body, arms in your lap, nice and tall through the spine. Engage core muscles still, and just take some slow, deep breaths. And we'll leave it there, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy the sunshine until next time. Take care. Bye-bye.